What is up, bros? With Josh here. And today's video is all about ranked battles. You can smell the salt in the air, and it's headed our way in just a couple days. Ranked battle season 13. I can't believe it's been 13 seasons already. Is going to be among us, so it's time to make that new seasonal video on my recommendations for the best ships to get you rank 1 per class, as well as talking about a couple dark horse ships. I'm interested to see how they do. But anyways, let's dive into it and talk about the upcoming rank season, as well as the ships I recommend for you to get rank 1. So I will put a link down below with a little bit more information, but this season will be the 13th season, and it will be Tier 9. A couple seasons ago, we were back to Tier 9, and it was actually Arms Race. This is going to be just normal, so it's going to be August 8th to September 3rd, Season 13. The progression will basically be normal. It's a little bit shrunk as it was the previous season. A little bit shrunk, but still overall, I think pretty close to the same amount of stars, and the last irrevocable will still be rank 12, so get there, get in, and get it done. But it will be 6v6 tier 9, so we'll be checking out tier 9 ships throughout this video, as well as the maps that will be there. The new map, Crash Zone Alpha, will be one that we'll be playing on as well, so if you haven't played on that too much, we'll definitely learn how to play it. And also the rewards, still get your steel and get your achievements as well. Always fun to get those. So let's start with the big old battleships, and this is a very popular class, and this is one that's kind of cool to look at because there's been a couple additions since the last time we did Tier 9. That's always kind of a fun thing to look at. Progression over time is adding more and more ships. Also, ships getting nerfs and buffs. That's always something to kind of check out as well. However, taking the top spot of my battleship recommended for this upcoming ranked season is still the Musashi. If you have this thing can easily be your chariot to rank 1. It's such a monster. Giant shells will do the job. However, you do have to worry about that cheek on these ships, and could actually get picked on a little bit by my second choice, but still I think the Musashi, if you have it, those big guns, just overall ability to smash everything into the face. I mean, you're basically a tier 9 Yamato. You can't really hate that. Yeah, you're not going to be as consistent as the Yamato with, let's say, a legendary mod, but still so strong at tier 9 and such a good ship to work with. Definitely could get you to rank 1, and I would say fairly easy doing it. Now for 2, you got to add in the Soyuz. Now this is one that the Russian ships in general have had a big impact on the game overall. I mean, just checking out the last ranked sprint, which was tier 7, it was nothing but Synops. These things have the chance and ability to be such an impact and so strong with their ability to bow tank. However, if you are going to show your sides, you're probably going to go back to port pretty quick. However, this is going to be something that's going to be a terror to deal with. However, if you can get some focus fire, which may impact some of my other picks down below in this list. Now remember, the Russian battleships only have so many repairs, with 4 without superintendent, so you're gonna definitely want to take your captain. I'll put a link down below to my captain builds if you want, if you have any interest. It's a whole series. I'm gonna keep it updated to all the changes and everything, but since the recent updates, all of those captain builds have been updated, so you can check those out if you have any questions on those. But you're going to want a more survivability build with the Soyuz. If a couple battleships are smart, even if a Musashi is smart or a Jean Bart, I think Jean Bart will be kind of the bane of the Soyuz existence because of its ability to just light it on fire. It could definitely be a problem there, but you're going to want more of a survivability captain on these. Work with what, or kind of help out your weakness of only having so many repairs. But the Soyuz, Russian battleships, making a big impact, and I think could be quite strong. I wouldn't say it's going to be stronger than the Musashi, but I could see this being very, very strong throughout this entire season. Big, 406 is still solid, but just its ability to tank could be quite good throughout the entire season. Still big health pool, everything like that. Also getting that improved accuracy within the 12 kilometer could definitely make for a good push if needed. However, that broadside could get punished like no other. Number 3 for me, and this is maybe a bit of a personal preference, but I think the Jean Bart is still one of the strongest tier 9 battleships in the game, and that's its ability to punish mistakes, also punish the big bad battleships by burning them down. So if any of you have ever played the Jean Bart, you know its ability to have its reload booster is just so freaking strong. So if that Soyuz or that Musashi does hit that repair button, just popping that reload booster and sending a couple HE salvos, 2-3 fires on them with high alpha damage, this thing could be so good. Also the ability to get speed, but man, that reload booster, if done well, is just so strong. However though, smaller caliber shells, you're going to be weak to things like the Kronstadt and the Buffalo. Buffaloes kind of laugh at this because you can't really pen it with AP if they angle correctly. Also bow and targets, but that HE could be quite strong by starting off as some early pressure, burning through that Soyuz. I think the Jean Bart in general will be a big problem for Soyuz players. However, in a brawling situation or bow win fights, AP versus AP, the Jean Bart's not going to stand a chance, but that's not really its strong point. So Jean Bart for me is still going to be number 3. This may be much lower for a lot of people, but I think the ability for this thing to punish the weaknesses of these big kind of chunky boy battleships, especially the Soyuz, which I think will be quite popular, the Jean Bart could be the bane of its existence and could just completely burn it down. Now, fourth, I don't think you can do a top 5 tier 9 battleships without talking about it, and that is the only battleship at this tier with radar. Now, you may say, well, the Missouri itself may have gotten power crept over time. It's not quite the strongest. Yes, it's still fairly strong. I find this ship to be quite strong. Any ship that brings the ability to radar certain things is going to be strong. Having the only radar at this tier for battleship is super, super good. 9.5 kilometers could 100% be a playmaker. Now, do I think it'll quite be to the level of those other 3? Probably not, but tier 9 was a pretty popular destroyer tier, so having a radar in a DD heavy tier, or that's what it was at least last time, is very good. Could easily make a push if needed and maybe take out a couple DDs. This is quite a strong consumable to have, especially on a battleship for making that late game push. Missouri rounds out 4 for me, and I think could be definitely a good ship to get rank 1 in. Yeah, I know, call me crazy, but my 5th pick overall is going to be the Freddy. Yes, I know, I know. And just a quick side note, just because it's not in these are just my opinion a little bit. I'm trying to help you guys have as good a chance to get rank 1 as possible. I think these are going to just stand out a tad more. I'm not saying you can't go get rank 1 with a ship I don't talk about. Play whatever you want. I guess that's the biggest disclaimer. The best part about rank battles is picking a ship you enjoy playing and taking that as far as you can. If you don't like any of the ships I'm talking about, you're going to hate playing ranked battles, and then basically you're going to let ranked battles win in this fight. It's a grudge match. You got to keep going. So if you don't like the ships maybe I'm picking and you like something else I'm not talking about, or just want to have fun with a different ship, by all means you can do it. Get out there and get those stars. However though, Freddy, this is one we saw last season be quite strong, and that is if you go a full-blown zombie build secondary in your face. Now, will it be the easiest ship to play? Oh, hell no. This is going to be tough. You're going to need to have kind of an idea of how to angle correctly, how to play it correctly, when to push at the right time. But the Freddy, if done correctly, is such a force and can pump out so much damage. You're going to be taking that manual secondaries. You're going to be taking, fire prevention. You're going to be taking all of these and basically just building this ship up to be a, I don't even know, just a super strong tanky build, going in there, lighting everything on fire and just causing mayhem. Again, using that hydroacoustic to kind of protect you from torps as much as possible and just being an absolute force. This is one I questioned maybe switching out with the Alsace. Alsace kind of, a bit more of the fragile ship, however, still very fast and can switch over. But I saw the Freddy, if played well, was so strong, and you kind of see it and you go, oh, nice, we have a Freddy and they have a Musashi, or, vice versa, switch out anything else. And then the Freddy played very well. If played correctly. If not, if you treat it like a sniper and you kind of do that, of course you're not going to be very effective. But if played aggressively in the right spots, the Freddy is such a beast and could definitely win a couple games. My dark horse this season is going to be the Izumo for the battleships, and this ship has recently gotten a buff. It's still pretty dang armored and could definitely be a threat to deal with. There's even people talking about how it might be stronger than some tier 10 ships at this point. However, I know everyone kind of remembers the Izumo being this kind of bleh ship, but it's gone through some buffs and can be quite strong. This is my dark horse. I'm interested to see how it's played well. It still has that weird turret layout that you kind of have to give up a bit more of a broadside than you want to get all turrets on board, but could be very, very tanky and could get you a lot of wins, and it could be definitely a threat to deal with. Still has some good secondaries if you want to spec that out. It could be an absolute beast if played. Also, I think I still want to maybe just throw in the Iowa a little bit with its buff to heal. Could be quite strong, but I feel like at this point we're getting into some ships that just aren't in the top tier and kind of fighting out for that middle tier. Also, as you saw, I didn't mention the Georgia. I just think the Georgia takes way too much damage and could definitely be a ship that might be fun to play. It's very fast, could get some big hits, but this thing does not tank for anything, and you will just get absolutely obliterated. Georgia, I think it's a pretty strong random battleship, but not ranked battles. But my big dark horse is the Azuma. I think this ship could be quite a lot better than a lot of people think and could have a big impact. However, not quite as strong as the other ships, but could definitely see some success in ranked battles in this upcoming ranked season. Cruisers for Tier 9 have also gotten a couple additions and I think will have a pretty big impact on the season. For me, though, it's actually kind of a tough pick at the top because I feel like both of these are quite strong, but strong in different ways. And I feel like it's almost a tie for me. However, they both are the Tier 9 battle cruisers, which are Kronstadt and Alaska. Now, the Kronstadt is just a tried and true Russian ship. You can Citadel battleships, long radar, long distance radar, shorter duration, could be very good. The shells, I mean, very tanky, nice armor on this. Just being able to kind of bounce a lot of battleship shells. You could definitely have that, use that HP pool and make a push if needed, and getting in there and using those 305s, very fast shells, punishing cruisers, punishing battleships, high fire chance. All the kind of things you want in a cruiser. Just such a strong ship, as well as just being able to farm a ton of credits too. But having radar is such a premium in this tier. That's why I think also the Alaska will be a very strong pick. Now, you gain a little bit less life, and you have a different radar. The radar obviously is going to be the USN, still 10 kilometers, but it's going to be not the 12 kilometers, which is what the Kronstadt brings, but pretty solid as we throw the premium on there just to get the final stats. But having that 10 kilometer for 42 seconds, I believe that is what the radar consumable is going to be super impactful. I may almost even give the Alaska a bit of a lead for first place. I would chunk these two as the top two. Very, very strong ships. And man, if you've ever played against an Alaska or even with an Alaska, they seem like they're almost uncitadelable. I don't know what it is with the ship. It always seems like either it's just full pens or you just can't bind that sit. And the main batteries on this are so wonky, but still a high fire chance. Almost 29 or almost 30%, and the AP is just brutal. You can chunk battleships for tens of thousands of damage with AP, so definitely a force to deal with. Both of these are going to be super strong and will definitely stand out a bit more than the rest. Sorry, Azuma, you're going to be completely left behind. Also, as you're going to see a bit of a pattern here, it's going to be radar ships. After that is going to be something like the Buffalo. Buffalo is also strong too. We saw a lot of people play the Buffalo, and the main reason being is it can bounce a lot. It's a tanky cruiser. It really is. Buffalo and both the Seattle saw a lot of action that was really strong. So the Buffalo is going to be a bit tankier. It's also going to have that long range or that long duration radar at 10 kilometers, 42 seconds with the upgraded module. And then you also have the Seattle though, which is going to give a bit more DPM, but only 9 kilometers, but still the way lower detection at 9.6 compared to the Buffalo, which has the 10.7. So there's a pattern here. The ships that bring radar to the table are also going to be here. So the radar ships are going to be my top 5. Rounding out top 5, believe it or not, is going to be the Donskoy. Donskoy, all of these ships, they all have radar. They all bring good, they all bring good guns. They all bring good DPM. They all bring their unique tankiness if needed, high HP. But radar is always the strongest. If you bring something else, that like the Ibuki could pump out a ton of damage, but with that damage you could have just taken a Donskoy, let's just say, or been a bit more aggressive and taken out a Buffalo and been able to tank a little bit more and get closer and pop those radars. In a 6v6, it's so important. It is so important to get that first kill because 6v6 offers a very big snowball effect. So getting that early radar, getting that early DD kill, letting your DDs have maybe that 1-up DD and maybe change it from a 2v1 to a 2v2 to a 2v1 or a 3v3 to a 3v2. It may not seem like a lot, but when you're taking out a sixth of the team early, you can almost guarantee yourself a victory. So radar. But Mijash, what do you mean? The Neptune has radar. The thing about the Neptune is it can't stealth radar, and that's the thing that the Minotaur at least brings to the table when you take radar. So if we switch out smoke for the radar, is the Neptune can't stealth radar. 10.3 kilometer is the lowest you can get on its detection, and it has a 10-kilometer radar. I think I saw more Neptunes in the arms race season get dev struck than I did see survive the game. It just not being able to stealth radar just makes it kind of weak, and having a Neptune on your team, although if you like the ship, that's fine, it's going to be a pretty weak ship overall. My dark horse for this season, though, is always going to be something like the St. Louis. The St. Louis has the ability to pump out a lot of damage and just kind of farm and be annoying. It's the French way to play. You're going to be farming a ton of damage, and they will just burn you to the ground, those 203s. I would say that is going to be one. Also, I could maybe see some Azuma play if played correctly. Fairly large caliber, high fire chance, all that kind of stuff. All the things you want in a ship. But I would say overall, it's going to be these 5 central radar cruisers getting in there and just getting that early kill. So important, kind of standing out way above the rest. Last but not least is my favorite class, and the class I will be playing, and that is the Destroyers. Now, the top one by far was the Jutland last season. However, the Jutland just got a nerf. However, what you're going to end up having to do is pretty much just go like this, and then go like this, and then go like this, and then to a point you kind of have the pre-nerf Jutland. Yes, you won't be able to pump out as many torps, but I think the Jutland still will be so strong. It's just such a good destroyer, and you basically will cut out almost all the torps. I wouldn't say you're invincible to torps, but you are just so strong. An extremely low detection at 5.7. You're outspotting nearly everything at this tier. But the Jutland, I still think, will be the go-to DD. It was between the Jutland and the Kitakaze last time it was tier 9, and in my opinion, the Jutland still was head and shoulders even over the Kita. You could maybe make the argument of DPM that the Kita brings to the table, but the Jutland just being so stealthy, such a good defensive ship, and getting near a cap and just holding it down, super, super, super strong. The Jutland, although nerfed, I still think will be the top pick for DD and will continue to be the king of tier 9 destroyers. But as I said, though, I think it'll still be followed by the Kitakaze. The Kitakaze just has so much DPM, damage per minute, damage per second, DPS, whatever you want to call it. Its ability to just burn everything to the ground, and just if it does find a DD, boy, that other DD is going to feel some pain. It just is. The Kitakaze, extremely, extremely strong. Will continue to be one of the top couple, and it will just be so freaking good. It just solid ship. I still think it's not going to be quite as strong as the Jutland, personally, but the Kita will be such a good ship just because of its ability to just punish and damage. However, the Jutland will be more focused on capping caps. The Kitakaze will be more focused on damage, dealing damage to everything else. Just like the Missouri for the battleships, I don't think you can make a top 5 list without talking about the USS Black. The only DD that offers a radar. Now, personally, this may be like, oh, you said what? I don't think the USS Black is overall that strong. I really don't. I think it's even a tad overrated. Personally, I would take the Fletcher over the USS Black. But the thing that the USS Black brings is it brings radar. And that is something, again, that can help your team get the early kill. I did play against a lot of these when I was in the last season, and they were more annoying than anything. You kind of had to wait out the radar, go back in, and then just absolutely obliterate them. It's a short duration, short reach of a radar, only 7.5 kilometers. Pretty short duration on the time with 22 seconds. I believe that is with the upgrade as well. Oh, it isn't with the upgrade, so you can get a little bit more. I don't have an extra one laying around, so maybe 25 seconds or so on that radar. I mean, it's just going to be such an impactful. Again, the thing that it's so high on this list for me is that it can help get that early DD kill and get in there and just have an impact, and then obviously hit that snowball effect and just going. But with its very slow torpedoes, it's kind of late game, if you will, with less DDs. This thing will thrive having more destroyers. Less destroyers, it's still going to be good, but it won't be as effective as, like, let's say, other destroyers. One of the newcomers for tier 9 destroyers is the Benham, and this is something that I think we will see a lot of this upcoming rank season, and it's going to be an interesting play. I'm interested to see how this ship does, but I am going to put it on my top 5. And the main reason is its ability to just pump out torps extremely fast. You can even get it faster if you take the captain skill. As you see, I don't have even a captain on this, but 72 seconds with just the module. I just threw these on right before the video, but you can even obviously bump it up, bump some stuff up a little bit more there. But 72 seconds on those torps, and remember, it's 4x4, so that's 16 torps going out every just over a minute, and you can even dump that down a little bit more with the captain skill. This could get you that early torp hit, that early DD kill, that early, maybe dev strike on a cruiser that's getting too close or trying to radar. 10.5 kilometer torps, 65 knots, and the damage is pretty decent at 15.2. Getting a couple hits on a cruiser or a DD or something like that, you're going to be pumping these torps out so fast. And on top of that, your guns are still pretty decent. A decent reload. Again, you could buff those up with BFT if you want to, and just be an overall solid DD. Could still defend yourself, still pump out a lot of damage. This is going to be one that if played correctly and if torps are in the right spot, this is one you're going to be wanting to watch the flow of early game on maps and just try to anticipate where DDs are going to go. However, with things like the Jutland having its long sonar, it kind of shuts down the Venom early game at least, but still the Venom could be an absolute threat because every 60 some seconds, 70 some seconds, depending on what captain skills you have, there's potentially going to be 16 torps heading your way. So a super threat. If it gets behind enemy lines and starts knocking out battleships and stuff, it's just game over. So this thing could definitely be a threat, one to deal with, and I think the Venom will be a very strong ship. So if you looked at my ratings from last season, I think the Z46 for me has definitely climbed up a little bit due to things like the Venom. The main reason being is it's the other DD that brings in sonar. Sonar is going to be very strong early game, late game, getting that early kill on a DD with 5 kilometer detection in smoke. You have a 5.9 kilometer detection on surface, so almost a radar-esque length on this, but getting that early DD, but mainly avoiding taking early torps. If you can push in, avoid the torps, spot them for your team, and get an early DD kill, the Z46 could definitely be strong. Do I think it's going to be as strong as the Jutland? No, not even close. But having its ability to pump out lots of torps, again, a very fast reload about there with the Venom. Venom obviously going to be able to pump out more, but these are going to be also 10 kilometer torps. But having that hydro to protect your team, screening for your team, and having a pretty low detection is going to be very good. Z46 rounding out top 5 for DDs is going to be quite strong, and I think could be a nice little tool to get you to rank 1. Overall, I don't think it's quite as strong as the Jutland, but could be very strong for when it comes to getting things done. Also, one thing I will say, my dark horse for this season is going to be the Mogador. Now, I just got this recently, and this is going to be a ship that, one, is going to be very interesting to watch. Main reason being is it has so much damage potential with the reload booster that if it is shadowing a stealthy destroyer, let's say a USS Black and a Mogador work together, I think they just kill something instantly. So the USS Black would maybe smoke into a cap, the USS Black would pop radar, Mogador just goes LOL, wee, pops its reload booster and just shreds apart a destroyer. Instantly you're up 6-5 and your Mogador can just farm from smoke and it'll be safe. So Mogador is my dark horse, could be a very strong ship, very annoying, a flank-esque ship if you want to. Super fast. This ship could get in and out and on with business, maybe flank out and get an early cap on the side. And really give your team, because remember in ranked battles, caps cap a lot faster, so having a fast or an extra cap throughout the entire game could completely make up for losing 1 or 2 ships early. So Mogador could be a big impactful ship. It could also just be kind of like, the French cruisers in a way too, where they're just mediocre and they're just kind of a farming DD. But this could definitely have a big impact on the game, and this will be my dark horse. Only a few people at the time are going to really have this. We've seen a couple of them on live server already, so if you do see them, it's probably not going to be the most readily available DD, but I still think if played correctly, it's going to require some teamwork to get to be as efficient as possible, but if done correctly, the Mogador will be really, really strong. Not quite, I can't give it my top 5 because it's just so untested when it comes to this game mode especially, but I could see the upside of the ship played correctly being very, very deadly. And as a Jutland player, I don't want to mess with this, but also as a Jutland player, I know I can just kind of outspot it. So letting your team kind of kill it, now again, that's the downside, but you have that speed to deal with. But overall, tier 9 is going to be an interesting tier, a very fun one, a couple new additions. And again, just want to say that if none of the ships that I pick were maybe your favorite, or your favorite tier 9s, play whatever you want. If you enjoy playing a ship, ranked battles can be very grindy. If you enjoy playing the Iowa, play the Iowa. If you enjoy playing the Udaloy, play the Udaloy. The whole thing about ranked battles, it's a very competitive / salty environment. There's lots of stress, all this kind of stuff. You want to make it as fun as possible. Also, as I say every season, don't play tilted. Play in moderation. I always say a rank a day will get you rank 1. Take it easy. If you lose a bunch of games, go take a break, play some random battles, just play a different game in general, because you don't want to let ranked win. And what I mean by that is if you get frustrated, if you're having a bad time, then you're going to hate the process. Try to make ranked battles as fun as possible. It is crazy enough. It is my favorite game mode, and I really enjoy it because I try to just have as much fun as possible. We play this all live on twitch.tv/mejash. We're going to be leveling out at least 2 accounts, I think. Maybe a third if we're crazy enough, playing some DD play, and maybe throwing in some random ships on the main account as well. But yeah, if you're playing, just kind of take it easy. Have fun. Enjoy the ride, get your rewards, and if you don't really want to push towards rank 1, you can definitely go and just get to rank 10 or 11, whatever it is to get that first bulk of steel and rewards and all that kind of good stuff and get your prizes. It's going to be a pretty fun season. But 6v6 tier 9 on some interesting maps. It's going to be fast season. It's going to be a fun season. I think tier 9 is a good season overall. Let me know in the comments below what you're going to pick for your ranked season, which tier 9 you're going to pick, and if you're going to be playing it, and how far are you planning on going? Are you planning on getting rank 1, getting that steel? You're just going to kind of play casually and go along with it. But I'm interested to see what you guys are going to pick as your ship, and if you agreed with me down below. But anyways, guys, that's it for me. Good luck this upcoming rank season. Hope to see you there, and hope you're on the green team so we can get some easy stars together. But anyways, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.